Präsidentin der Republik Kosovo, Josna Osmani Sadriou. Herzlich willkommen.
Thank you, everyone, and good evening. Dear President of Paneuropa, Mr. Ternoir, President of Paneuropa, Austria, Mr. von Habsburg, Secretary General, Mr. Kocek, dear Walburga, so great to see you again. Vice Presidents, Excellencies, once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to join you all here tonight to celebrate the centenary of Paneuropa, an organization very dear to my heart, and I would say to all the people of Kosovo. But at the same time, the oldest European unification movement founded in 1922. 100 years on, and the aspirations of the founder for a politically and economically united Europe and a geostrategic power on the international stage are more relevant today than ever before. I am particularly delighted to stand here before you today not just as the President of the Republic of Kosovo, a proud champion of Paneuropa, not just as the President of a committed European nation, but also as the President of the youngest country in Europe, with the youngest demography, boundless energy, talent, and European enthusiasm. European values have always been as part and at the heart of our people's identity and history. But today, these values are also part of the fabric of our society and lie at the very foundations of our Constitution. Kosovo is Europe, and to be Kosovar is to be European. We, the people of Kosovo, have felt firsthand the friendship and the support from Paneuropa during our most difficult times in the 90s, when Otto von Habsburg, a great friend of President Rugova, our founding father, and a great friend of our people, became one of the strongest voices and champions advocating to protect human rights and values in Kosovo. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Paneuropa for the 100th anniversary, because your commitment over the last century confirms the strength, the longevity, and the relevance of this cause. And in light of the ongoing developments in our continent and beyond, it is as relevant as ever for us to continue to champion these ideals today. As we often say, democracy is never a finished or finite project. And indeed, the same could be said for Europe. I represent a people that live and hope for the day that all democratic nations of Europe will one day sit side by side in unity and as equals, as part of the great European family. But even when that day comes, events in Ukraine have shown to all of us that we must continuously protect, advance, and nurture our European ideal. At a time when European and democratic values are so brutally under attack in Ukraine, and by extension in all of us, in all of our countries, we must come together using these platforms to ensure we collectively support our shared objective for Europe whole, free, and at peace. The war in Ukraine has showcased and brought to the fore the absolute necessity of a unified European response. In the face of global disruptions and challenges, the importance of unity and partnerships has never been greater. Today it's Ukraine, but tomorrow it could be any one of us. And that is why we must work together. That is why we must stand up for one another. As a country that has witnessed firsthand the devastating impact of war and destruction, but also the power of unity and alliances standing strong in protection of freedom, peace, and democracy, we urge you all to stand by Ukraine and to continue to stand on the right side of history. To do so is also to stand on the side of Europe, to stand on the side of democracy. During the next couple of days, I hope you will all have the opportunity to look back at the proud history of this institution, But perhaps even more importantly, this event and this centenary will serve as a great platform to discuss what we want our continent to look like in the next 100 years. How will European policy develop? How will the implications for European security develop once Ukraine has won this war? Where the enlargement process is, and what will European integration look like? For us in the Western Balkans, a key part of Europe that is yet to be integrated into the European Union family, these questions are not just important, they are existential. The reality is that they are existential for the EU family as well. They should be seen from a geostrategic point of view for the EU itself. And it should be said that it is short-sighted to think otherwise. Europe must learn from the tragic events unfolding in our continent. European institutions need to enter a period of self-reflection and redefine their relations with countries that remain outside of the European Union, yet are part of and at the very heart of the European continent, and embrace European values in their actions. For too long, it was the technical and administrative questions or complaints of fatigue that had overtaken the narrative and of the importance of European values that are at the very foundation of the Union. As this organization has long championed, European integration for all of the countries of this continent cannot wait. Of course, those countries of those continent that embrace European values as a precondition, let alone for those of the Western Balkans. The urgent reality is this: the more Europe there will be in the Western Balkans, the more there will be stability, democracy, and peace in Europe. A vacuum of European influence means a void that will be inevitably filled by those that have malign tendencies and do not want to see a prosperous or united continent of Europe. This is much bigger than the politics of any single politician or country. This is a matter of geostrategic importance. It is a matter of preserving peace and unity on European soil. And despite hurdles that are continuously put in our way, the people of Kosovo will not be deterred. Our Euro-Atlantic aspirations are clear, and our determination is stronger than ever. Of course, it is an unchangeable truth that the Republic of Kosovo is a European nation in both ideals as well as location. As you might be aware, our country has now entered an important phase of further consolidating our European path. We have submitted our application for membership in the Council of Europe and are soon to submit our application to the European Union in the hope of receiving a candidate status. And while we understand too well the complexities of the latter process, we call on everyone to understand firsthand that when it comes to our application of the Council of Europe, membership in this organization means advancement of human rights for all of our citizens. This is not just any membership application for Kosovo in just any European institution. This is an opportunity for Europe to showcase to everyone that when we speak of protection of human rights and freedoms, there is no compromise and no domestic political considerations can get on the way. And when speaking of human rights, it is equally as important to bring forward the great injustice with visa liberalization for my citizens. It is utterly discriminatory and goes directly against European values to isolate a nation at the heart of Europe, keeping them hostage within their own continent by not granting the ability to travel freely. And we're not talking about just any nation, but the most pro-European nation that exists. Hence, as we are gathered here today in beautiful Vienna, at the very heart of Europe, I want to take this opportunity to reiterate the message on behalf of my citizens to all European member states. It is high time that Europe opens its doors and hearts to the youngest Europeans, to the Kosovars. Saying yes to visa liberalization at this crucial time means collectively taking a step forward in our joint European project. Dear participants, I want to end my remarks with a final plea for the people of Ukraine, as well as a call for unity. In tough times like these, perhaps more important than the challenges we face is the way in which we respond to them. No matter how big or small, we should be united by the values that we believe in, and every country can play its part. What Ukraine is countering today is what my country and my people encountered a bit over 2 decades ago. What I can tell you is that in those darkest days, freedom is the only thing that you dream of and you fight for. You dream of a safe place to sleep at night. You dream of the right to go to school. You dream of speaking your own language without fear of violence. You dream of peace. Peace is the foundation of everything good that comes afterwards. We need to do more so that the dreams of peace and freedom for the Ukrainian children, women, and men can become a reality. The same way that you all did everything you could so that these dreams can become a reality for the people of Kosovo. And every country can play their part. The Republic of Kosovo, no matter how small, has shown that its people have a great heart, and we will continue to steadfastly stand in support of Ukraine. We will always say no to those who try to destroy our European values and ideals, and everything that we have achieved as a continent over the past 100 years. But we will always say yes to European ideals and values. We will always say yes to human rights, and we will always say yes to the European identity to which we belong. I see in all of you a strong determination to do the same. We are seeing within the European Union that strong determination to stand united and, of course, never give up in the face of aggression, tyranny, and autocracy. And in this spirit, may the path forward be more promising. May the days forward be brighter and democracy ever stronger. And of course, Europe even more united. Thank you very much.